I must truthfully confess that I belong to the second category. The man who didn't buy, but still read. And I'm not exaggerating, I read all the 18 stories. I must compliment Ari for the wonderful creation that is brought out. In fact, I'm from this fraternity. As an airport man, I wondered as to how he could carve out time for penning down his thoughts, so beautifully. And although he said that it entailed 4 years, there are guys like me, for instance, 40 years and still I didn't pen down, And I think he has chosen, you see, Vani made a mention about the lucid style in which he brought out. These are not stories. These 18 are not stories. These are real life instances, each one of them. Like, for instance, Vani was mentioning about that Hyderabad incident, the Ramzan. There is a reason. And incidentally, I think he skipped one Ramzan in 2002. And there is a reason. And I don't want to diverge it. I urge you to go through it. Like the other instances, each one of them. Honorable Chief Guest mentioned about that donkey. He found meaning in that donkey doing Surya Namaskar. Am I right? So, Surya Namaskar, and likewise many. There is a story about a fish, a blind fish, and which are surrounded by many other fishes. But in effect, what he found, the meaning he found was that, the blind fish was oblivious about that other fishes, but it is actually the other hundreds of fishes which are actually blind. There is, in short, there is a meaning, a greater message in each of the stories he has narrated, and he has done it so beautifully. And I don't want to take time. In fact, he has cautioned that the time allowed to the others at 3 minutes. Only exceeded the time. Right. So I don't want to, but I really urge you, each one of you to read it. And in fact, when he came and presented the book to me, I really didn't expect that an engineer who was immersed in the day-to-day, activities at the airport, and I, as one from that, as a fellow man from the airport sector, I know the onerous responsibilities of a vice president engineer would have, and he still found time, and it's a wonderful creation. And I didn't, believe me, I went through all the 18 at one stroke on a holiday, and then, I found it, so impressive, so touching, like Gujarat incident. In fact, he is the greater thing is that he brought out the incidents and related each one of them to the inner challenges in the minds of the human beings, and that's so wonderfully brought out. Gujarat, she also mentioned about that Gujarat riot in January 2001, and the people took a vow there that we'll work for communal harmony, and what really transpired is that the very same people who took that vow, the next year, there was a riot, they indulged in a riot and en masse killings there, the same very people who took that vow. So I think it's so touching, and I'm a voracious reader, I must say that. I find time for reading, I find time for penning down, but I found this one of the finest books which touches the human life I've ever read. I wish him all the very best, and I look forward to his next creation. And
thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.